Connection, all black everything, Come on in, tell a friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell a friend, put your thumbs up like you hitchhiking, share it, like it, subscribe it. That's how we do it. Get it through the algorithms, dropping this powerful knowledge right here, information in spurts. Tavistock Institute, right where we left off. It is the ancient mysteries of the aspirant could not claim a participation in the highest secrets until he had been placed in the pastor's bed or coffin. The placing of him in the coffin was called the symbolical death of the mysteries, and his deliverance was termed a rising from the dead. The mind, says an ancient writer quoted by Stobaeus, is afflicted in death just as it is in the initiation in the mysteries, and word answers to word as well as thing to thing. For burial is to die and death to be initiated. The masonry is found on the tracing boards of the early part of the last right there. It says the coffin in masonry is found on the tracing boards of the earlier part of the last century and has always constituted a part of the symbolism of the past of the third degree, where the reference is precisely to the same as that of the pastos in the ancient mysteries. Quote, President Kennedy sat at the head of a coffin at a table at the White House. His back over a fireplace hung a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, an assassinated president. On the other side of the picture were urns that resembled the type called cinerary urns, which are vessels in which the ashes of the dead are kept. Quote, that's from end quote. A book about JFK was called Three Steps to the White House. In Masonry are what is known as the three symbolical steps. The three grand steps symbolically lead from his life to the source of all knowledge. Quote, it must be evident to every master mason without further explanation that the three steps are taken from the darkness to the place of light, either figuratively or really over a coffin, and ignorance of this life through death to the light and knowledge of the eternal life. And this form from earliest times was the true symbol of the step, end quote. The body of President Kennedy was placed in a coffin, which was positioned in the center of a circle under the Capitol dome. The catapult was a, quote, temporary structure of wood appropriately decorated with funeral symbols and representing a tomb or a cenotaph. It forms a part of the decoration of the Sorrel Lodge, end quote. This Masonic encyclopedia entry refers to the ceremonies of the third degree in lodges of the French Rite. Jewel drop. Do your own research. Pictures taken of the Kennedy coffin and catafalque show that these two props of the funerary rites as a point in a circle of the point within a circle and is a derivation of ancient sun worship. Interesting. In the lore of mystery, cults, and fertility, hero god and the disappearance of his in the subject of an elaborate psychological ruse. The body was said to have been concealed by the killer or killers of the hero god. The concealment of the body was called aphonism and is a rite of the Masonic degree. Anyone interested in comprehending the mechanics of the group mind control would do well to study the third and ninth degree in particular, and all the grades of Masonry in general. The disappearance of the body, this aphonism, is to be found in the assassination of President Kennedy. Quote, the president's brain was removed and his body buried without it. Dr. Cyril Wetch, past president of the American Academy of Forensic Sciences and a professor of pathology and law, received permission from the Kennedy family in 1972 to do the autopsy materials. And at the National Archives. When he routinely asked to see the brain, Red was told it was missing, along with the microscopic slides of the brain. Marion Johnson, curator of the Warren Commission's material at the archive, said, "The brain's not here. We don't know what happened to it. If and when the brain is recovered, the entire process will have been completed under the term euresis. In the Masonic mysteries are symbolical ladders. On the Masonic tracing board of 1776, there is a ladder with 3 steps. Jacob ladder in such references, 7 steps. The Brahminical ladder, 7 steps. The Kadash ladder, 7 steps. Rosicru- Rosicrucian ladder, 7 steps. Jacob's ladder, various numbers attributed. The Kabbalic ladder, 10 steps. Then there is old, quote, Tim Finnegan's ladder, end quote, which is known to some as the ladder of misfortune, and it's is seemingly comprised of one false step after another. Mm. Quote, after the Kennedy coffin was removed from the center of the Capitol Rotunda Circle, it was taken with pageantry to the street for viewing. The funeral procession made an unplanned stop on Pennsylvania Avenue in the and in the lore of the Egyptian jackal god Anubis. A dead person is said to have gone. All black everything. This is Tavistock Institute. You know, dropping information is very powerful. We'll come right back. Hmm. We almost there. It's getting deeper and deeper. All black everything. Think it's Spike. Appreciate you. Like and share, subscribe it, thumbs up like you're hitchhiking. Let's go share this knowledge. Peace and love.